So let us start the first class of the academic session 2020-21. And in first class, we are going to discuss the introduction, historical development, branches and scope of pharmacology. So in this, we are going to first discuss about the history of pharmacology. In this history of pharmacology, first we are talking about the ancient discovery of drugs, or you can say the herbs. Then some point regarding pre-Christian era, medieval medicine, revolution in the medicine, and the finally modern medicine. And we are going to discuss only few silent features, few silent point, because this is the 1 hour class, and within the 1 hour of the class we have to finish our target and try to cover most of the part of the historical background of the drug or pharmacology. So when we have to go through the ancient medicine, in ancient medicine regarding a discovery or history is concerned, the first appear the Chinese medicine. So first were reported the about the Chinese medicine in about 2500 2500 before Christ BC, and the first reported compendium, or you can say the books, or you can say the uh, a binding booklet type of form, that was penso, pen pen, and tso penso, and that was first reported, the first ancient reported by the Chinese. In this, the mostly the drugs are herbal in origin, and you can say the mainly herbs are there, and the name of the books, the compendium, was Penso, and that was by the documented by at the time of an emperor Sen Nung, that is a Chinese emperor, as well as his follower. He wrote about the herbal medicine, and the name of the book was Penso, and this Penso book is also known as Sen Nung Penso Ching. So simply you have to recall by Penso is the first ancient reported book on herbs by the Chinese about 2500 BC. And thereafter, some are thinking that the Indian Ayurveda is also ancient one. So regarding the Indian medicine or Indian Ayurveda is concerned, is also you can say the equally ancient one, the historical one, the older one, and at that time Ayurveda is coming in the form of a compendium, a book form, and a binding the literature form. We call it Charak Samhita, and another one is Susruta. So these two are the Indian compendium, or you can say the compilation of the write-up, which is telling about the some drugs, or you can say mainly the herbs, and which is of the ancient one and Indian medicine, and that is coming under the heading Ayurveda. So the name of the compilation, the compendium, was Charak Samhita and Ruta. So these two are also you call the ancient one, but the Chinese one is the very important, that is the Penso. Under the ancient historical medicine, the another compendium, or you can say compilation, or you can say the book came, and that is also the very important historical appearance, and which is about 1500 or about 1550 BC, and that was came in documented form by Egypt. So that is this called the Egyptian document in compilation form, in compendium form, and the name of that compilation is called Evers Papyrus or Papyrus Evers, and this is discovered in Egypt, and this is also contained the mainly the herbal medicine, and is still amongst the same book we are using some of the drug like castor oil, pomegranate bark, and these we are using as a therapeutic purpose. So there are three most important ancient historical medicine book or compilation, or you can say the compendium, are Penso, then Evers Papyrus, and also you can say the Indian one is the Ayurveda like Charak Samhita and Ruta. So these are about the ancient historical era of the pharmacology. Later on, the pre-Christian era came, and among this pre-Christian era, very important, and only one is very important about Hippocrates. Hippocrates, which is about the 5th century BC, that is 450 BC or 370 BC, and he was the first that attempted to separate the superstitious with the medicine, or you can say from the religion and superstitious. So Hippocrates was the first person who differentiate, who separate the religion and superstitious from the medicine, and that is why this is very important. And also Hippocrates is called father figure, that is the father of medicine, and sometimes this is also called father of modern medicine. So Hippocrates is very important. And later on in medieval medicine, the one more scientist, one another scientist, and very important scientist, the name of the scientist was Paracelsus, which is about 1493 or 1541 AD, and the name of scientist was Paracelsus, and also known as Philippus Aureolus Theophrastus Bombastus von Hohenheim, and he wrote a very important statement. He stated or cited a very important statement. We are still very important and still is in use. And you can say we when we start a drug, we have to quote cite this statement given by the Paracelsus, a great scientist. The all substances are poison. So this is very important. All substances are poison. There is none which is not poison. Means ki everything is poison, and there is nothing is which is not a poison. Only the right dose. Very interesting and important thing is that only the right dose, the amount which differentiate a poison and a remedy, means a toxicity and a drug. So this is very important statement given by Paracelsus. And other than this, he also has written about the some of the inorganic compound he introduced, like mercury, like sulfur, like iron, that like copper sulfate, potassium sulfate, mercurials tincture, fluid extract. So Paracelsus has a very good impact on the pharmacology, and thereafter revolt in the pharmacology, or you can say medicine came, and that was by the Samuel Hahnemann, and this is particularly concerned to the pathy, that is homeopathy. And he wrote a very important concept that homeopathy means ki homos means same, and pathia means suffering. Same suffering means ki the agent or the disease causing agent which is producing disease, the same thing we are using for the treatment, but very low potency, very low concentration, and that one was the concept of homeopathy. Homeo means same, empathia means suffering, same suffering, and he was called or known as father of homeopathy, that is Samuel Hahnemann, and he introduced the two concept, two principle, that like cures like, and dilution of that drug potentiate the action, and that is very very important. And we are using the same drug which is producing a disease, and we are reducing its dilution, and after reducing its dilution, the same heavily diluted drug which produces uh, earlier the disease in low potency, that is going to cure the same disease, and that is why this is called like cures like. So this is very very important. So now thereafter the era of modern medicine appear, and this is very very interesting and important. And in era of modern medicine, the Paul Ehrlich, he did a very good impact in the field of pharmacology, and he first tell about the arsenical compound, and he introduced this arsenic compound for the treatment of syphilis. That is, the name of the drug was Salvarsan, and the name of the inventor was Paul Ehrlich. So Paul Ehrlich, he invented the arsenical compound, and that are used for the therapy of the disease like syphilis. Not only that, in the phase of his life between 1854 to 1915, he coined the term, very very important term, chemotherapy, as well as he also coined the term receptor. And because of the invention of the chemotherapy, because of the invention of one more word, the magic bullet, he called the chemotherapeutic agent as a magic bullet, and he told that the chemotherapeutic agent are more parasitotropic, more towards the parasitotropic and less towards the patient, or less towards the sufferer. What it means? It means if we are using any drug, the drug are primarily or mainly or only acting against the pathogen or the disease causing agent, and less against the sufferer, means ki patient. So this is having the specificity against the disease causing organism. And the Paul Ehrlich is also called a father figure, that is the father of chemotherapy, or you can say father of modern chemotherapy. And thereafter the antimicrobial agent that was discovered, and the name of the antimicrobial agent was azodie, a dye, a coloring agent, and the name of the agent was Prontosil, and then that was actually a trade name. And this Prontosil is actually the chemically is a sulfanilamide, belongs to a group we call the antimicrobial group sulfonamide. So this Prontosil is a antimicrobial agent, antibacterial agent, discovered by Gerhard Dome Lake in the year 1935, and he evolutionized the pharmacology. That chemical, after that chemical, later on in the era of World War II, Alexander Fleming, he has discovered an antibiotic which we call penicillin. So penicillin G, particularly penicillin G, was discovered by a scientist, Alexander Fleming, in his era, that is 1881 to 1955, and that was a very good invention. And you can say this is rather a first antibiotic. What it's called? The penicillin G is a first antibiotic discovered by the Alexander Fleming in the nearby world during the World War II. So this one is the very good invention in modern era by the Alexander Fleming. So this is about the modern medicine scientist. Later on, other scientists in the same era appeared that, and they gave very good invention, and they are also they did very tremendous job for the pharmacology, like Pedanius Discorides. Pedanius Discoride, he wrote about the drug, about the herbal drug, in the form of books, in the form of compendium, in the form of compilation, and that was published in about 5 volumes, and the name of the book was De Materica Medica. That was that was compiled and written by the Pedanius Disco writes in 5 volumes. And thereafter, Friedrich Serturner, he discovered the first alkaloid. So Friedrich Serturner is a very, very good, he invented very good thing, that he discovered, or you can say separated, first alkaloid. We call it morphine from poppy plant opium in the year 1805. So this is very good invention by the discovery by the Friedrich Serturner. Thereafter, one more scientist that discovered the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. So Sir Henry Dale, he discovered first neurotransmitter, or identify first neurotransmitter, and the name of the neurotransmitter was acetylcholine in the year 1914. And not only that, he distinguished two receptors, that is the muscarinic and nicotinic receptor. So this is very, very good invention by the Hewlett Dale. And thereafter, later on, one more two scientists, Banting and Charles Best, they discovered very good discovery, that is insulin. And he invented the insulin, and that was a very good invention, because the insulin was used for the treatment of diabetes. So these are the scientists that participated in the discovery of modern pharmacology. And here we are going to discuss some pioneer features, pioneer figure, not feature, pioneers figure of the father figure of the pharmacology. So we are going to discuss about the father figure of the pharmacology, and they are, the most important is the Hippocrates. Hippocrates, that we already earlier discovered, that he gave the concept of modern medicine by separating the religion and superstitious with the medicine. So this was a very good invention by the Hippocrates, and that is why the Hippocrates is called the father figure and called father of the medicine or modern medicine. And thereafter, another father figure of the in the field of the medicine was Claude Bernard. Claude Bernard is called modern experimental medicine father, father of modern experimental medicine. Another scientist, Oswald Schmidt. This is very important father figure in the field of modern pharmacology, and also called founder figure of the modern pharmacology, and also called father of modern pharmacology, that is the Oswald Schmidt. And thereafter we already discussed about the father figure of the chemotherapy, and you can say the modern chemotherapy, the polar list. He not only given the coin the term chemotherapy, also coined the term receptor, as well as he discovered the arsenic compound for the treatment of the syphilis. And not only that, he stated a sentence, a term, magic bullet for the chemotherapeutic agent, for the drug, magic bullet. So what was the concept regarding this magic bullet? Magic bullet are mainly acting against the parasite or parasitotropic, and less against the organotropic, that is the less against the patient. So that later on, one more father figure in the field of pharmacology, that one was the John Jacob Abel, and he was called the father of American pharmacology, and he has also separate pharmacology as a separate subject. So that is a very good thing he has given for pharmacology as a separate subject by the John Jacob Abel, and he was also called American pharmacology. Regarding the father figure of Indian pharmacology, the scientist was the Colonel Ramnath Chopra. So Colonel Ramnath Chopra is a father figure of Indian pharmacology, and other father figure are clinical pharmacology, the Louis Lasanga, the father of pharmacognosy, that is the Theophrastus, and father figure of modern veterinary pharmacology is L. Mayer John. So L. Mayer, this is very important. The L. Mayer John is not only the father figure for modern veterinary pharmacology, but he wrote a book, that is the first edition in the veterinary pharmacology book. And the name of the book was Veterinary Pharmacology and Therapeutic by L. Mayer John. So this is all about the father figure of the pharmacology. Now we have to go through the subdivision, or you can say the branches, or you can say the dumb subdivision of the pharmacology. But these all the words are quite intermingled, so you can't mixed. You can't together. You can't separate it separately. But you have to recall the terminology. So in this we are only going through the terminology. Few of the terminology used in the field of pharmacology. So first we have to start with the word pharmacology. So what is pharmacology? And this is very important and very interesting also. So this branch of pharmacology, the pharmacology is the branch of science, and this pharmacology is derived from two Greek word, pharmakon and logos. Pharmakon means drug or remedy. So you can recall the pharmakon means drug, and the logos means the study, the science for the study, a study. So in nutshell, pharmacology is the science of drug. Simple definition of pharmacology is the science of drug. And if you want to explore in better definitive definition form, you have to define the pharmacology is the branch of science which deals about all the aspect of a drug on living system, either beneficial or toxicological. So, pharmacology is the branch of science which discuss about the drug action on living system, either beneficial or toxicological, is called pharmacology, or in other word the science of drug is called pharmacology. In other word, also you have to define the science which discuss about the all the knowledge concerned about the drug. It also you have to define in the other way. It also in you can say this pharmacology is the pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetics. So this is very very important. The terminology we already discussed the pharmacology. Now we have to discuss about the pharmacology branches, or you can say the terminology that are used in the pharmacology. These are the few terms that we are going to discuss. So the terminology, the branches are neuropharmacology. So here very very interesting to recall. Neuro means concerned to the nervous system, means ki it includes brain, it includes spinal cord, it includes the nerve, and pharmacology is the drug. So effect on drug, we are in this branch or this branch of pharmacology, we are going to discuss about the effect of drug, study of drug on neurophysiology, on nervous system, or neurobiochemical effect of the drug on the nervous system like brain, spinal cord, nerves. Likewise, the similar type of terms is cardiovascular pharmacology. The name itself is telling the definition. So the drug which have the influences on the cardiovascular system, and its study is called cardiovascular pharmacology. So drug study of effect of drug on the cardiovascular system like heart, vascular system, and other concerned structures related to cardiovascular system are called cardiovascular pharmacology. Next is the molecular pharmacology. In molecular pharmacology, we are going to discuss about the molecular way of study of a drug. What it means, it may be biochemical, it may be biophysiological effect of drug on the living cell is going to be studied under the molecular pharmacology. It molecular next is endocrine pharmacology. So name itself is going to tell the definition. The drug which influence the endocrine system, and its study is called endocrine pharmacology. So a study of drug on on the hormone, or the which modifies the effect of hormone normally secreted by the body is called endocrine pharmacology. So this is about the endocrine. This is also effect of drug that are either hormones or hormone derivative. So this is about the endocrine system. You can say simply the effect of drug, study of effect of drug on the endocrine system is called endocrine pharmacology. Next one, a very very important terminology, you can say the toxicology, and this is also a branch, and that is very very important like the pharmacology. So this toxicology is also derived from a Greek word toxicon. So toxicon means the poison, a toxicant. Logy means the study, the science. So the science of poison is called, it's simple one word. Science of poison is called toxicology, and the term toxicology derived from a Greek word toxicon, means poison or toxicant. And in this we are going to discuss the science which discuss the adverse effect of chemical or drug on living system is called toxicology. In this, not only we are going to identify the poison or toxicant, but which also include the treatment. So in other word, we also define the toxicology, study of nature, effect, and detection of poisons and treatment of poisons is called toxicology. So this is the very very important definitions of toxicology. Amongst this is the simplest one is the science of poison is called toxicology, and science of drug is called pharmacology. So this is the terminology. Now this is, you can say, also the branch as well as the terms for pharmacology is the chemotherapy, and this is very very important terminology, and that was given by the Paul Ehrlich that we already earlier discussed. So the chemotherapy is the branch of pharmacology or area of pharmacology in which we are going to discuss the study of drug or agent that are going to kill the or destroy the inhibit the growth of microbial infection such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasite, and other microbes, as well as the cancerous cell is called chemotherapy. So chemotherapy, again I am going to repeat, you have to recall three words for definition of chemotherapy: drug, then microbes, then the cancer. If you are going to recall these three words, you simply define the chemotherapy. So chemotherapy are the drug or the area of pharmacology in which we are going to discuss about the drug. That drug are going to selectively destroy or inhibit the growth of microbial infections of bacteria, virus, fungi, parasite, or other microbes, as well as going to inhibit the growth of cancerous or malignant cell is called chemotherapy. So chemotherapeutic agents are the drug which selectively inhibit or kill the growth of the infectious organism as well as the cancerous cell without, very very interesting line, this is the without seriously impairing the normal function of the host, or you can say less organotropic. That was given the Paul Ehrlich, that is the magic bullet. Chemotherapeutic agent called by Paul Ehrlich magic bullet. He called the therapeutic agent a magic bullet. Magic bullet are selectively parasitotropic, means acting against the microorganism, and less against the host, means ki less organotropic and less against the patient, and not only going to kill this microorganism but also going to kill the cancerous cell or inhibit the growth of cancerous cell, because cancerous cell have very much similarity with the microorganism. That is why that is also going to be inhibited. Now we have to go through the other branches of the pharmacology like clinical pharmacology. So name itself is telling about the clinical pharmacology. So this pharmacology branch of pharmacology is mainly concerned to the treatment, where we are going to discuss about the treatment. Means ki the study of the drug, particularly for the therapy purposes, is called clinical pharmacology. And in that we are going to take the help of pharmacodynamics, pharmacokinetic, pharmacogenomics, that we all are going to be considered under this treatment. Now we have to go through the experimental pharmacology, the other terminology, the you can say. So experimental is itself is going to tell effect of drug, or a study of effect of the drug on the experimental animal or laboratory animal, is called the experimental pharmacology. The name itself defining is the pharmacon on the experimental animal is called experimental pharmacology. So this is about the experimental pharmacology. Now we have to go through the medical chemistry. In medical chemistry we are going to discuss about the chemistry about the medicine. So a chemistry about the medicine is that we are going to study the structure activity relationship. What is the meaning of a structure activity relationship? When we are going to modify the structure of a drug, their activity get changed also. So we are going to discuss this under the medical chemistry, and which is going to help in designing and synthesis of new drug, when we are going to study the structure activity relationship of a drug by modifying its structure, and simultaneously we are receiving the different type of drug with different type of property. That is very very important. Now we have to go through the another term. The term itself is going to tell the definition: pharmacoeconomics. So economics is going to to tell about the economics, the drug cost, pharmacon cost. So in this we are going to study the cost effectiveness of the drug. What it means? It means if we are producing any drug, and the cost of, if the drug cost is more, that the drug is not used by many people because of its cost. So cost effectiveness of any drug are very very interesting, and that we are going to study under the pharmacoeconomics. So next is the pharmacokinetic. This word is also derived from two words, pharmacon and kinetics. Kinetics means the movement. The movement means कि whom movement? The movement of the drug. So the movement of the drug is going to be influenced by the body, because body is not going to allow to move everything. So that we are going to discuss under the pharmacokinetic. So who is decided the movement of drug? The body. So in other words, the movement of the drug is decided by the body. That means the definition of the drug is what the body does to the drug is called pharmacokinetic. And what this body is going to influence? It influence the absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion of the drug. Who is influencing? The body influencing. So other definition of the pharmacokinetic is absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion study is called pharmacokinetic. And the just opposite to this one is another definition, another terminology is the pharmacodynamics. So pharmacodynamics is just opposite to the pharmacokinetic. Here, in case of kinetic, what body does to the drug, whereas here in dynamics, which here we are going to totally concentrate on the drug. what the drug does to the body, which we are going to study in the pharmacodynamic. So pharmacokinetic, what body does to the drug. Pharmacodynamic is the what drug does to the body, how this is influencing the body, how this is influencing the living being, that we are going to study. So in scientific way, the definition of pharmacodynamics are what the drug does to the body, and also you can say discuss about the study of biochemical and physiological effect of drug, as well as in another way we are going to call it the mechanism of action of the drug. Mechanism of action of the drug is called pharmacodynamics. So pharmacodynamics is the study of biochemical physiological effect of drug, and their mechanism of action is called pharmacodynamics, or in other way what a drug does to the body is called pharmacodynamics. Now we have to go through the other definition and terminology are pharmacogenetics. So here the terminology itself defining the word, the term, you go through the term, that pharmacon on the genetics. So what is the influence of the drug on genetics, or just vice versa? What is the influence of genetic on the drug? Means कि if the genetic variability is existing within the population, the effect of a drug is also varied. So this is vice versa. So this is the study of genetically determined variation in response of drug is called pharmacogenetics, and this is very important. Genetic of individual, of a population, of a society is very important. And in case of pharmacogenomics, we are going to treat a patient on the basis of their genetic makeup, genetic style, genetic configuration, that is going to be discussed under the pharmacogenomics. Means कि if the genetic variability of the individual is there, then that means because of the variations in the genetic makeup, the drug action is also variable, that we are going to discuss in the later on. If we are going to discuss it here, this become a very big chapter, so we are going not going to discuss here. Now we have to go through the other terminology, pharmacoepidemiology, and you have to break it. These are the Greek word. Pharmakon means drug, epi means upon, demios mean people, logy means study. So effect of drug upon the people residing in a population is going to study under the pharmacoepidemiology. So pharmacoepidemiology is the epidemiological influence of a drug is called pharmacoepidemiology, because in a population, now take the example of corona vaccine or coronavirus disease. This disease is behaving differently in different genetic makeup of the people. Likewise, the drug is also going to behave, the vaccine are also going to behave differently on different genetic makeup of the population. In this, we are going to study under the pharmacoepidemiology. Is the study of drug effect on population level is called pharmacoepidemiology. Now we have to go through the pharmacognosy. Gnosy is the knowledge, Greek word gnosis. So pharmacon is the drug. So we are going to study the source of drug is pharmacognosy. So pharmacognosy is the science, is the branch of pharmacology which is going to discuss about the source of drug, or you can say knowledge about the drug, that are going to give from where the drug came, that we are going to study. And the last under the terminology under this history, introduction and scope is the pharmacy terminology. And this is very very important, that we are the medical shop, the pharmacy lab. So pharmacy lab, that you all are aware about the pharmacy lab. So the lab or that pharmacy term, where is the a place where we are going to make a medicine in compounded and dispensed form. Compounded means we are putting two or three more component of the compound, and mixing in such a way, making such a preparation that is that is going to have some effect, and that is going to be give to a patient. That is called the pharmacy. So pharmacy is the study of collection. If you are preparing, take the example, the chamanpras. So chamanpras is having so many ingredient of the plant. So we are collecting different plants, then we are going to compound it. Compounding is what we are doing, we are mixing it, we are mixing in the mortar and pestle, or you can say in machine. And after mixing it, we are pouring some more thing also there, and we are making in such a form, so patient is going to take it. So that is called dispensing in such a way that is fit for administration, as well as used for better therapeutic efficacy is the called pharmacy. And simple word, this is the compounding and dispensing of a medicine is called pharmacy. Now we have to go through the scope of pharmacology, and that is the very very important, interesting, is that where the pharmacologists are going to be digested, or you can say the got the job, are in the field of research, the basic research, in the form of the government services like scientist, researcher. Then you can say the industry like the drug company, they are doing the R&D, and they need R&D, research and development scientists there for marketing of the drug, pharmaceutical marketing. Then the lab technician. Then in academic, as a lecturer, as a scientist, we also have to have there. Then pharmacovigilance, the vigilance about the drug, they are doing vigilance about the drug. Then in the healthcare, as a scientist, as a laboratory technician, as a in the veterinary clinic, in the hospital, and in the other the place where the scopes are medical and scientific, as a scientific writer, editor, consultant, extra, etc. So that is the end of this is the first class. I am here with requesting you all the people, go through properly, read it properly, go through the terminology, study hard. That's all about the first class.